Intellectual equal.
Oh, well, obviously so, Kaye.
Because you do have quite a number of degrees up your sleeve.
Oh, yes, yes, I do have a couple of little qualifications here, and it's actually Dr. Jamie Lee Skye.
A doctorate?
Yes, a doctorate.
Jamie Lee, does this come in handy in the drag world?
Not really.
No.
No.
Use it really.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Only counselling those tragic old drag queens because it is in psychology, Kaye.
Now, Jamie Lee, I did want to get a little bit personal, if I may.
You may, Kaye.
Yes, because I did read in Brother Sister that you do have 2 children.
I do. That was when I was a boy before the silicon and the knit downstairs.
Oh, really?
Yes. I do have a 17-year-old son and an 8-year-old daughter.
Okay. This is very, very 90s, I think, you know, the family and also the gay thing.
Oh, yes, I do have a husband now, of course. Very beautiful. His name's David, as I think I told you before. And he does work here at Jocks. He's a barman behind the bar.
Is he?
Yes, he is.
Yes. Now, how do your children feel about your occupation?
My daughter, she doesn't mind. She knows I'm an entertainer. My son knows I'm an entertainer. My son's big on drinking VBs, tattoos and crew-cut hair. He will never get in the car if there's a wig or nails in the front seat.
Is he a bloke?
He's a real boy, yeah. What can you expect with a father like me?
Jamie Lee, I have so enjoyed our little chat.
Okay, it's been fabulous. Thank you for coming to Jocks Bar.
It's the Amnesty Sexuality Human Rights Group, and we're actually the Victorian group for gays, lesbians, bisexuals and transgender people within Amnesty, for members who are within Amnesty. And basically we're just the Victorian section of a national network of gay and lesbian activists within Amnesty International that link up with Amnesty International activists in Germany and Sweden.
Okay.
And
this group is actually, it is quite new. Amnesty haven't taken on board as their charter sexuality issues before in the past. Have they or have they not?
No, they haven't directly. It's been a long history. There's been different fights about it in the past, but we're a worldwide organisation and we're a consensual organisation, so the countries that are cool about giving equal recognition to the human rights of people who are not straight are fine about it, but we also have within our membership countries that have very repressive laws and that actively discriminate or execute people who are active on the human rights for people who are... Yeah, there's some pretty appalling things happening around the world. So there is reform that's happening, and Amnesty at the moment is active on it already within the realm of sexuality is within your right not to be discriminated against on the basis of sex.
Yeah. This might be a good time to just give a bit of background on Amnesty International. Is that a possibility?
Yeah, sure.
So, because it's a name that has been around for a while, but when did it all begin?
It began in the 60s, basically because man in Britain felt that there wasn't enough recognition given to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which is a document that came out of the United Nations, one of the founding documents, which guarantees everybody's rights as human beings, political rights, the rights to an education, the right to grow up without war, the right to have fresh water, the right to not have your land stolen from you by your landlord, for example. They are universal, they're not just a Western concept, and they're things that we should be using today to fight the battles we need to fight to make sure that people get access to those rights.
So it's all about equality, really?
It's about equality, equal treatment.
So what are some of the actions that Amnesty have taken in the past? They've been very active.
Yeah, Amnesty has evolved from mostly being involved with prisoners of conscience, and a prisoner of conscience is somebody who's been imprisoned because they've spoken out according to their belief or their religion or their sex, and in our case their sexuality. As long as they don't advocate violence, Amnesty will mobilise worldwide pressure to release those people and have the focus put on the prison they're being kept in, have the focus being put on the politicians in that country that's keeping those people in prison. Right. But Amnesty has developed further to actually be involved in the other things that happen to people around the world that are pretty bad, like death squads, people just disappearing, which is, governments not being responsible and protecting their citizens, and also things like female genital mutilation, things where your human rights are compromised and the governments of countries should be doing more, and they need to be pushed to do that.
I noticed that the logo for Amnesty is the candle. Yeah. With the barbed wire around it. It's a very poignant symbol, I think. Does that come from that kind of that prisoner of conscience thing, Because candle's kind of like freedom, isn't it? And then you've got the barbed wire.
We were talking about that, trying to get the right angle on it, and somebody in the audience said it was the vigil connotation, and basically it's remembering you have to look after a candle, otherwise it'll blow out or it'll burn down, and it's being vigilant and looking after that candle, making sure it's not ignored, and bringing warmth and light to people, and it's surrounded by barbed wire because the world can be pretty repressive for people who are gay, lesbian, transgendered in particular. A lot of the expressions of homosexuality culturally around the world are involving transgressing gender and putting on the clothes or the identity of another sex.
So some of the freedoms that we take for granted is not the case in other countries?
It's illegal, and you can be, find yourself dead because of it. There's a transgendered activist in Turkey at the moment who won't take it lying down, and Turkey is a secular country. There's no laws against being transgendered, but she's routinely harassed by the police, and she does HIV education. She's an activist, and she just continually gets put in prison, and Amnesty recognises her as a prisoner of conscience. They also had a lesbian prisoner of conscience in Romania, and we campaigned for a long time to get her release and to have the law changed in Romania, and we're still campaigning to make that happen.
Okay. When you say campaigning, what form do these campaigns take?
Traditionally it's been from letter writing. Amnesty, though, is interested in engaging far more active ways of being an activist, and they want bums on seats, okay? They want people to actually be turning up and being committed with other people and writing letters to places, but they also want to get people's talents and their expertise and their interests and move forward with that in doing direct action.
Candice will come on Sunday night, next Sunday, and perform in Candy's bar at Seven Heaven. I said, okay, you've got to do the Barbara Allen look and all that sort of thing. There was a section like everywhere today. They have like a little bar area within the nightclub where they do drag shows, and the hosts were Miss Candy, Coco, Hot Coco, and Victoria Bitter. If you want to perform, you just bought a tape along, or probably like a whole bucket of tapes if you wanted to perform all night, and they just sort of slotted you in and said, oh, you're on next. And after you've done one number, sort of like, if you want to do another one, it's like, well, not this one, not the next one, but you're on after the third person. And so it went on to like 7 in the morning. Carlotta and her beautiful boy started up 2 years ago. We're going into our 3rd year now. At first it's a bit of a culture shock because all my life I've done shows throughout different clubs. I've done openings and private parties and all that sort of thing. So virtually I was my own boss. Joining a group show and touring as well, it was quite hard at first, but you sort of learn tricks of the trade after 6 months. Because we travel in Taragos, we're like the Muppets on heat, and basically you sort of, when if you're a person in the town that we arrive in and you see us drive past, we're all sort of looking out the window, all big hair and face. Of course all they get is Slim Dusty or Kamal, so when we have feathers and diamante bikinis and big hair and these gorgeous 6 gorgeous things on stage, you go, when they see the caption "Beautiful Boys," they know it's a drag show, but they think it's like they think it's going to be very Priscilla orientated, which is natural to think, and they just think, you know, like muscly, hairy chest, hairy arms, you know, can't walk on high heels, you know, that sort of, you know, very ugly, you know, truck drivers in dresses. When the show opens up, we come out, it's the first time they see us, and they just go, oh my God, you know, sort of like, you know, legs and bodies and hair and, you know, tits and, yes. After the show, we explained it to them. It's like, oh, we aren't, no, I still don't believe it, you know, it's like, where do you put it and how do you get bows? How do you do your makeup and what makeup do you use? And we do explain to them that, you know, the makeup that we do use is the normal makeup that they use, but we just put more of it on, you know what I mean? They'd put a slice of eyeliner on, we put like a whole, you know, whole containers, you know.
Highlight of Midsummer for you?
Well, being here actually, because we arrived from Brisbane and we've just sort of come down.
What type of dogs are these?
Well, four-legged, a cross between a goat and a sheep.
Have you ever entered in Barbara Quicksand's tattoo competition? I think it's on Brunswick Street.
No, I'm from New Zealand, so...
So this is like a kind of like a relationship across the waters?
Relationship in my dreams.
This is the brother-sister stall, and if you can see on the wall there are the covers for brother-sister. Incredible diversity. They must have lesbians in New Zealand.
Oh, the ugly ones. Oh, excuse my language.
It's about letting people know their rights under the Act. The fact that lawful sexual activity is now something that is one of the grounds upon which you can lodge a complaint.
Stalls along here at Midsummer. This one is the Gay and Lesbian Immigration Task Force. What's this all about?
Well, we try to gain equality in immigration for gay and lesbian partners who are overseas and want to come to Australia to gain permanent residence.
Are you having a baby?
Yeah,
When is your baby due?
in 9 weeks.
How wonderful.
One mother, two, and there's dad over there.
Representing the Liberal Party of Victoria.
Liberal Party of Australia, actually.
Oh, is there such a thing?
Absolutely, we're in government.
Oh, are we?
And the vast majority
I
of...
thought the ALP won.
Oh, no, the vast
What
majority...
happened to Paul?
Paul's in retirement.
How is it that you've dressed up and come out?
Well, I had a little bit of help.
Did you?
Yeah, I got a resident makeup artist living at my house.
How's Brother Sister going circulation-wise?
Very, very well, yes. It just sort of keeps on accelerating, all that sort of hard-hitting news and lovely entertainment things that we've got.
Tell me, what type of response have you had here today?
We've had a fantastic response today. In fact, among the gay community and among the straight community as well, the vast majority of Victorians are marching with their feet and voting for Kennedy in droves as the election results...
No, what about that last by-election?
That was a freak result, and that was a protest vote on a single issue, and that was a matter of...
Was it a country thing?
It was a country thing.
So you're closing down those hospitals in the country.
It wasn't a question of closing down hospitals.
How often do you go to the gym?
About four times a week.
Has it improved your sex life?
Absolutely.
In what respect?
I don't know.
This is your baby.
It certainly is.
This is very contemporary.
It certainly is.
Contemporary.
And now,
It's a three-way affair.
how's it going to work for you all?
Well, who knows?
Darling, this is Melbourne's Metropolitan Community Church.
Oh, heavens. So now what does that mean?
It's the church which welcomes all people. Melbourne's gay, lesbian, transsexual, transgender, bisexual, heterosexual and allied communities, all to worship together.
And do they all fit in the one place?
They do all fit in the one place.
I wish I could touch you.
We were at the beach, we could throw a suntan lotion.
It'd be nice to hold hands or something. I haven't held hands with anyone in years. I want to kiss you.
Can't hear, it's part of the package.
We should go to a beach where no one can see us.
We will sometime.
When?
Sometime.
Ruth? I'm kissing you.
I'm kissing you back.
I'm touching the back of your neck with my lips. Lightly. It can feel my breath warm against your neck. You can feel my tongue, my teeth. You feel my fingertips brushing the backs of your legs, soft on the tender parts. Now sliding up the insides of your thighs.
When do your kids get out?
3 o'clock.
Would you like to come home with me right now?
Yes, I would.
Welcome everybody to Girl Talk and another video review. Our panellists this evening are pretty much familiar faces, but I'll introduce them anyway. There's Peter. Hi Peter.
Hi.
And Jay. Nice to have you back. And Shay. Oh, Shay, yeah. Okay, good. And Stephen is joining us for the first time. You will have seen Stephen in Big Fat Arts and on some location stories as well. Welcome. We just saw a clip from the movie we're looking at tonight. It's the film Liana. It's directed by John Sayles, and it was a film that came out in 1982, and it was my coming out film. I suggested it, and I wish I hadn't, because we almost have nothing to say about this. Do you have any more details on the movie, Peter?
Yeah, basically, also John Sayles, he wrote the movie as well, and it's about Liana, who is a married woman. She's kind of depressed, upset. She's married. She's a lesbian. She doesn't know it. Her husband is having, affair after affair after affair. He's a head lecturer at a university, and he's just sleeping around on her. And she's a mother of 2. She's sort of like started to live the life that was expected of her. And we come in sort of seeing that area, and then as the movie progresses, she sort of figures out her sexuality, and it sort of goes on from there.
Links up with the teacher.
Yeah, Ruth,
lovely Ruth.
The lecturer Ruth. She falls in love with her, and that doesn't end so well, but
I couldn't help but compare this film to another film which came out in the early 80s. It's the film Making Love with Harry Hamlin in it. Remember?
I haven't seen that one.
What?
No, I haven't.
No, I haven't seen it either, but if it's like Liana, then I probably don't want to.
Shay, you're very, very critical of this movie.
I am.
So we have to listen because you are a girl, so I kind of probably know this more.
Actually, I thought the acting was really bad. I thought the camera work was really bad. The directing was really bad. There was so much extraneous stuff in the film that didn't need to be there, and it just kind of seemed so overworked about trying to prove a point, where she opens the fridge like 50 million times, and we're like, yes, we get the point that you're, kind of anxious about something, and, the whole interpretive dance thing.
Yeah, what do you all think about that? Is that John Sayles was a fairly young filmmaker back then?
Yes.
I mean, point taken. I don't think it's a particularly good movie at all. After seeing it with you, I thought it was great until I watched it with you.
I think back in the early 80s, with technology the way it was, basically there wasn't any.
When we used to crank up televisions with a steam engine.
Yeah, I think some of it's forgivable, but I actually like the story because it was you could even be related to today. Like women and even guys who marry, they go through the period where they think, okay, this is what I have to do. They live the life that they think they have to live, and then, maybe it wasn't that great the way it was done, but I think the basic plot of the story is still even relevant today.
Yeah, I mean, I liked the story.
Yeah.
But it
like the movie show.
But it could have been done so much better. There was one scene where they're talking in that restaurant across the counter, and I swear to God, they used one camera for that, and it was just a standard headshot.
Yeah,
it was really...
How mean you are. We should have a look at another clip from the movie. There's another clip coming up. It's a scene from Liana, and this is which scene is it? I can't remember.
The laundry.
The laundromat.
You got enough soap here? Oh, yeah. I'm used to buying for a family. You moved to the 2nd floor, huh? That's right. We're right above you. If it gets too loud, feel free to tell us. I will. Thank you. Liz, that's my roommate. Her boyfriend comes over and plays music on our stereo sometimes. He's into volume. I think his eardrums are shot. Does he have to sneak in? Sneak? Oh, our landlady. Mrs. Hennessy talks a good game, but you can't back it up. She just comes over to rent a place when it's vacant and scare you with that no men rap. Hey, you don't rat on me, I don't rat on you. Or, I do... I'm gay. Oh. I'm Sheila. That's so funny. Come on, let me in on it. Jesus, you're not gay, you're hysterical. You're so funny. I don't know where I said that. I don't even know it. It isn't true.
Gay had an encounter in the law. Could be a scene from Notting Hill, couldn't it, really? But that's got to be the funniest scene in the movie, though, don't you think?
That was the only funny scene. I'm sorry, I'm being really harsh, but I just think that because we have so few gay and lesbian films, that we just kind of latch onto anything. We'll accept anything.
Yeah.
You know, as long, you know, if there's a dyke or a poof in there, we'll accept that film. And
so we get excited, cool, let's go see this. It's a heap of crap, but hey.
Yeah,
so what did you think? Had you seen Liana before?
Actually,
when did you see it?
I only saw it 2 weeks ago, and I only liked the scene actually when, well, the love scenes, because I hadn't seen really a lesbian love scene before, and I thought that was interesting.
You should see the one in Bound.
Oh, the Bound one is very, very good.
No, because it was different, because I'd never seen a sort of a lesbian movie.
Okay. So how did the actual coming out, because it's really a coming out movie, how did you sort of relate to that?
Well, I felt that I would prefer a more modern movie because
that must be the low budget thing that we're talking about. How about you, Jay? What did you think?
I didn't have as many problems as what Shay had about it. I'm a little more forgiving than Shay, I think. But
I have very high standards.
The problem, well, the big thing that I thought about it was that it was written and directed by a man, and it's a lesbian story. So I had a few problems with that because, you know, you've got to question whether or not a man actually has a right to.
Can I just say something actually about the writer and the director, John Sayles? He's actually in the film. He has a starring role.
Yeah. And he shouldn't have been, but he was.
And I don't know whether he should stick to acting or stick to directing or do something different. But
I think just be a dump truck.
One of the funniest things in the film was he comes across as a gay man. Now, I don't know whether he is or not, but he comes across as such a hoofter. And he's playing this really slimy woman chaser, and he does it so badly. You know, and he's trying to get into Liana and that kind of thing, and he's just he's so cad.
Because it's the assumption, he assumes that because Liana is, you know, lesbian, that she hasn't had a good man yet. I think it's the funniest thing in the world.
I don't think he's had a good man.
But I just wonder whether that's kind of like is a little bit of an issue for these movies, or because they're kind of breaking new ground in the mainstream, that they feel they've got to do everything. You know, they need to include all of the different facets of coming out.
So.
It was really laboured, and that it just tried to incorporate everything involved in coming out, and I mean, in the end, it just got boring. It was just.
I wonder whether the film isn't going to be remembered for the sandbox scene, because you know how the postman always rings twice is remembered because of the sex on the kitchen table scene. I will never be able to look at another sandbox again after seeing this.
I had no idea what a fox in a sandbox was. I was just totally confused. I thought it was a fox in a sandbox. It was.
The cat
but I'm blonde, so it doesn't matter. I just think
At least you admit it.
The camp thing is, we decided to have a look at another movie as well, because this movie wasn't so strong.
We just couldn't spend this amount of time talking.
And Stephen, you brought along It's My Party.
Yes. Now
what's that film about?
Well, that movie is about a love story between two gay men, and their lives and dealing with HIV, with AIDS.
Oh, the HIV.
One of the partners actually got HIV before he actually met his lover.
Okay.
And they were together for about 15 years. And
it's got Eric Roberts in it, who's Julia
Roberts.
One of the
brother.
main characters.
That's right.
He's the one who decided to kill himself, because he's the one who had HIV and
he wanted to die with dignity, because he didn't want to end up being a vegetable, as you see throughout the scenes.
Chucked a big party. And at the end of the party, he was going to commit suicide, and that's what he did. That's really good.
Has Olivia Newton-John in it?
Yes, I like that. Because I like Olivia. I like Olivia. She even sings a couple of her songs at the end in the credits, so you know it's good.
We thought we'd have a look at a scene from It's My Party, and it's one of the HIV and AIDS films, and we've probably rolled the credits over the end of this one, so we'll take a look at it. It's My Party. Thanks everyone for joining us.
No problem.
It's fun.
Thank you.
Looks like one of Nick's art pieces.
Oh my God. It's our friends who died of AIDS. There's so many of them.
Jim Bixby was first. He and Carl were together for...
How did you stay together for so many years? That's prediction. Well, two male egos aren't easy to mesh.
He died in the hospital. Tubes coming out of everywhere.
You're a doctor, right? Ran the AIDS unit accounting until I couldn't take it anymore. Now I teach. There's different types of AIDS? No. It's different infections that attack the weakened immune system.
With Jack, it was toxoplasmosis.
I think he was really
He decided to die at home.
Brandon, can we go outside? No, I'm staying here.
And Joey had skin lesions.
He took pills, but he didn't get the dosage right. Jeez, what happened? He needed some help. You? I entered medicine to help people. How soon? Brandon, please just don't make this any harder. I'm not leaving till I talk to him. He needs his tranquility.
So he is licking his balls, and Jim says, God, I wish I